Hello and welcome back to Joe's Math Tools. In our session today, we are solving another two-step equation using the distributive property. So if you're ready, let's get started. So we're going to begin solving our two-step equation by first applying our distributive property. So we're going to be multiplying our 5 to everything within our parentheses. And I will be expanding my parentheses at the side so that my working doesn't get too muddy. So that means I'm multiplying 5 times 3e. And then their product will be subtracted from 5 times 4. So when 5 is multiplied to 3e, remember we multiply the number, so 5 times 3 is 15, and then 15 when multiplied to e will be 15e. And now 5 times 4 is equal to 20. And since these two terms are unlike, that means that I'm just going to return my 15e minus 20 back into my equation, and this is equal to 55. So now we're going to be applying our first step of our two-step equations where we're going to collect our like terms. And in this equation, our 20 and 55 are our like terms. And remember that we're looking at 20, and since 20 is being subtracted, that means that when I group this term with 55 on the right hand side of my equation, I'm now going to take up my opposite sign, which is addition. So I will be adding 20 to 55. Now let's simplify the right hand side of our equation. 55 plus 20 is equal to 75. And now we have just completed our first step of our two steps in our equation. So now for our second step, remember our main goal is to always get our variable, which in this case is e, on one side of the equation by itself. And since 15 is being multiplied to e, we use the opposite step, which is division, and we will be dividing both sides of our equation by 15. So remember that we're getting our variable e on one side of the equation by itself. We always divide by that coefficient or the number that's being multiplied to e, which in this case is 15. So 15 divides into 15 once, and instead of writing 1e, remember we are just writing e because e and 1e are exactly the same thing. The only difference is we don't write the 1. So we won't be writing the 1 back, and we'll just have e. And now we're going to be dividing 15 into 75. And 75 when divided by 15 is equal to 5. So for this equation, our variable e is equal to 5. Okay, so let's check our solution. We said that e was equal to 5. So we're now going to substitute our 5 into our equation everywhere that e appears. And remember that I will simplify my parentheses at the side, so you won't have to worry about trying to follow along with the steps too much. I try to make it as clear and as easy as possible for you to follow. So 3 times 5 will equal to 15. And 15 minus 4 is equal to 11. So now we're going to substitute that 11 back into our equation where our parentheses was. And remember that this was equal to 55. So now we're going to simplify the left hand side, and 5 times 11 is equal to 55, and 55 is equal to 55. Okay, so once both sides of our equation are equal, remember that when you're checking, If the equation doesn't balance out, it's a good chance that something in your working is incorrect, or maybe the answer that you may have gotten for E in the first equation wasn't correct either. So anytime you are checking and these two doesn't work out, just go back and check your steps first, and if all of the steps that you did in the check is correct, then that means you need to go back and check the solution that you got for your variable. Maybe something in your working there may have been incorrect. But the good thing is you can always check just to make sure that the answer that you got is correct. Okay, so I hope this was very helpful to you. Remember to give the video a thumbs up if it helped you with solving your two-step equation involving the distributive property. And then we'll see you right here in the next video on Joe's Math Tools, where we make math easy.